Spurgeon here with RevZilla to talk to you about the Cortech VRX 2.0 jacket available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see on my left-hand side is the all-new VRX 2.0, and really what we're seeing from Cortech is a simplification of their line. The Cortech VRX 2.0 is now going to be a 3-season cold weather jacket only. They're getting rid of the air version of this, and really what you're going to see is this is that jacket you would wear for the spring and the fall, and you can push this into the winter months. Now, if you're considering an option to get you into the summer months, that's where you'd be looking at the GX Sport Air 5.0. That's going to be a full mesh chassis. But with this jacket, this is for those of you out there looking at tackling the spring, the fall, and the cooler months of the year. Coming in around the $180 price point, we're seeing a $10 price increase over the previous version. But really what you're getting is a much more thought out piece with contemporary lines. We're seeing all that extra padding at the shoulders just kind of go away. We're seeing clean lines with a more updated, moderate contemporary style to this. I think if you're looking at this back to back with the old jacket, you would agree this is definitely a step forward from a styling standpoint for Cortech. Now from a sizing standpoint, it's going to range from an extra small to 4XL. Mr. McHugh stands at 6 foot, weighs in at 230 pounds, and has a 46-inch chest. We have him in a size large. According to Cortech size chart, he should actually be in an extra large. So we've sized him down one full size. The jacket fits him spot on. We would recommend that you do the same. Now from a coloring standpoint, there's 4 different colors available, and we have Mr. McHugh in the black and the hi-viz version. One of the things that I really like about this is we've seen a progressive movement with hi-viz. Hi-viz is not just throw as much hi-viz on something as possible and don't care about how it looks. What we're seeing now is we're using the hi-viz as part of an exercise in styling, and I really like how Cortech has done that with the VRX 2.0. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this is coming around that $180 price point, and if you would want to consider something different, you'd probably be looking at something for the warmer months out of the year, and that's where that GX Sport Air 5.0 comes into play, and that's going to bump you up to around the $230 price point. But really, there's some differences here that we'll get into that allows Cortech to shave a bit of cost. Now, one of the things you'll note with this, the waterproof liner is not removable. It's a Z liner, which means that all the vents that you'll see on here are indirect vents. They're not going to vent directly to the body, and that's really why you're not going to want to use this into the warmer months of the year. And you're also getting a full sleeve 60-gram thermal liner. That's going to work to keep you warm. It is removable, so in the fall and the spring, if it's still 60, 70 degrees out, you can pull that liner and you can ride all day long, and then if it starts to cool down at night or into the colder months, you go ahead, you put that liner right back in. Now the material that we're seeing used here is a 600D Carbolex material, and that's going to be the entire chassis on this. No mesh, no reinforced ballistic panels like we saw with the GX Sport Air, and then you are going to have indirect vents at the shoulders as well as the biceps on this. Now like I say, indirect vents because you have that waterproof Z liner, you're not going to get that direct airflow. Armor on this is going to be CE level 1. Armor on this is the elbows and the shoulders. You're not getting a back protector with this one, but you are getting that CE level armor in the elbows and the shoulders. The other thing you'll note, pop of reflective on the bicep, but really what struck me was the way they were starting to incorporate the Cortech logo. This is much more contemporary than something like that rubberized Cortech that you're going to see over on the chest as well as the top of the shoulders on this. I would like to see more of this, really kind of a slim, sleek look from Cortech, and it's kind of a very progressive step forward. If only we could get away from that TPR and that rubberized Cortech logo, I would be a happy man from a styling standpoint. Velcro entry at the wrist, no zipper, very simple, sleek design with that, and you will have that full sleeve thermal which goes all the way down. The only adjustment you're going to see on the arm is there is going to be a Velcro adjuster at the bicep on this. One of the things you'll know, some of the jackets we've had Mr. McHugh in so far this season have been a little bit slimmer in the arm. We're not seeing that here, so if you know that you spend a little bit more time at the gym, you have larger biceps, larger forearms, there's a little bit more room to play with in the arms on this particular piece, and that'll most likely work for you riders out there that are spending a little more time in the gym. Now, as we work our way down the chest, very clean lines. Like I said, I'd love to see that Cortech rubberized logo just get the same update we saw on the arms. Hand warmer pockets, but other than that, very sleek, very simple. The VRX that was on the old version of this has gone away. And again, really just updating the style in little places, and all those little additions to style add up to one large contemporary bump. Mr. McHugh, sideways rider position. That pop reflective we talked about on the top of the upper arm, you are going to have accordion stretch at the back of the elbow, And what we've seen now is that you have this stretch material all the way down the back of the top of the shoulder. There was a little bit of it in the old jacket, but what we're seeing now is a lot more of that stretch material. Gives you the availability to really get down to more of a full tuck sport position, sport touring position, and that's really where I see this jacket coming into play, that sport/sport touring audience. Pop a reflective down the outside of this, and you are going to have a Velcro adjuster at the waist. Sir, you may face backwards. Microfiber at the collar. As you work your way down, the biggest change you'll see is they used to have a horizontal vent which worked its way across the top, as well as 2 vertical vents. We've eliminated that, and we now just have 2 simplified vertical vents. Now again, keep in mind, this is just to allow some of that moisture to evaporate from that waterproof Z liner. Cortech logo done in reflective, and the biggest thing to note here is this is just a back pad. Don't confuse that with a back protector. You're going to want to pull that out, get rid of it, and put a full-on CE rated back protector in there. You've got CE protection at the elbows and the shoulders. Make sure your back is protected as well. Pop a reflective along the bottom, and there will be a connection zip in there if you want to match this up with a pair of Cortech pantalones. Sir, you may face forward for me and go ahead and unzip. Once we get a look at the inside of this, so what you will notice is you will have that 60-gram thermal liner, and this is going to be that full sleeve thermal liner. If you want to ride into the colder months of the year, you might want to beef that up with some base layers in there, but that's going to get you started to make sure you stay nice and warm. And you will have some additional storage pockets on the inside of this. But you will notice that the waterproof liner is a Z liner. That means you can't pull it out. It's actually baked into the actual shell of the jacket itself. Sir, you go ahead and zip up for me. So if you're looking for a simple piece, not going to break the bank around the $180 price point, you want something that's definitely more contemporary in style, and you are looking to ride in those cooler to colder months of the year, the VRX 2.0 is definitely one for you to consider within Cortech's line. Now there's a lot of folks out there utilizing Cortech. If you want to hear more about what they have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting a VRX 2.0 jacket through its paces. If you have more questions for any of our gear geeks, you can give them a shout at 877-792-9455 or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the Cortech VRX 2.0 jacket. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.